Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lepakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 12th of September. Nepal Foreign Minister meets Indian counterpart ahead of Prime Minister Dahal's New Delhi visit. Baloch activists across the world protest against atrocities by Pakistani forces in Balochistan. And peace deal with Islamist warlords close to conclusion, says Afghan President Ghani. And now for all the details. One more militant was killed on Monday as gun battle between security forces and armed men continued for the second day in India's northern province of Jammu and Kashmir.
Security forces gunned down a militant in Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir province on Monday, taking the toll to 8. 7 other militants were killed on separate encounters in the province on Sunday. One policeman was also killed when militants tried to storm the government secretariat in Poonch near the de facto border with Pakistan. Terrorists are believed to be holed up in a house and the area has been cordoned.
Since yesterday, there is an encounter which is going on in Poonch, and as of now 4 terrorists have been neutralized successfully, and the operation is still in progress.
More troops have been deployed on the Kashmir frontier to prevent infiltration bid, officials have said. Infiltrations from Pakistani side have been on the rise in recent times. This is the third such attack on the security forces in the district in the last 4 days.
Meanwhile, Baloch activists and leaders have intensified their protest against the violations and atrocities being inflicted on their ethnic Baloch people in Balochistan province of Pakistan. Demonstrations were held in different parts of the world.
Atrocities by the military in Pakistan's southwestern Balochistan have come to the fore due to the wide-scale protests by Baloch people. Dilshad Baloch, an activist, on Monday warned of more protests against authorities in Pakistan for the human rights violations taking place in the southwestern province.
We are going to hopefully see more of these protests in the future, and there's going to be bigger and much more frequent protests. Actually, 13 September को न्यूयॉर्क में यूनाइटेड नेशंस के बाहर प्रोटेस्ट हो रहा है और होपफुली सब उसमें पार्टिसिपेट करेंगे. There is a media blackout. No human rights organizations are allowed inside internationally, and other than that, whatever is going on inside is being under a kind of a curtain, under a cloth.
On Sunday, protests were held in Australia and South Korea, condemning the abduction of Baloch women and harassment of activists, and to spread awareness about the plight of the people in Balochistan. Protesters called for an end to genocide of the ethnic Baloch people.
मुल्क का जो एक जमहूरियत के नाम पर, जो इस्लाम के नाम पर बना है, जो बलोच कौम का नस्लकुशी कर रहा है, हम उसकी पुरजोर अल्फाज में मजम्मत करते हैं.
He further stated that in Turbat area, Baloch National Front on Saturday staged a protest against an ongoing military siege at a political workers' house.
Moving on to news from Pakistan, clean drinking water is a necessity for every human being. But in Pakistan-administered Kashmir, people are deprived of this basic amenity. The region is plagued by an acute contamination of its water bodies, leading to water shortages and other health issues. A report.
Despite being endowed with abundant water resources, people of Muzaffarabad in Pakistan-administered Kashmir are denied of clean drinking water. At present, they fulfill their water requirement by collecting spring water that is contaminated and declared unfit for human consumption. The drainage from surrounding areas has polluted several lakes too. Locals say the water supply is infected by the severe water. Due to unavailability of processed clean water, People of the illegally occupied region have no option but to consume water that poses threat to serious health issues.
यहाँ पे हमारे लिए सबसे जो बड़ा मसला है वो पानी का है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे पानी हमें खालिस हालत में मिलता नहीं है और जो चश्मे के पानी है इनमें भी मिलावट हो रही है और सप्लाई के पानी की ये सूरत हाल है कि एक हफ़्ता दो हफ़्ता और एक माह से लोग पानी के पीछे तड़प रहे हैं। हमारे छोटे बच्चे माएँ बहनें पानी के लिए दूर दराज जाती हैं चश्मों पे, जहाँ पे उन्हें पानी मुयस्सर नहीं होता क्योंकि अवाम की बहुत बड़ी तादाद होती है।
Locals claim that authorities continue to make false promises to rectify the problem. However, once the election process is over, their problems are forgotten. Under illegal occupation by Pakistan more than 6 decades ago, people in the region have been struggling with basic rights and amenities.
More news from India. Nepal Foreign Minister Prakash Sharan Mahat met with his Indian counterpart Sushma Swaraj on Monday in New Delhi. Mahat's visit comes ahead of Nepal's newly elected Prime Minister Pushp Kamal Dahal's visit to India. The two ministers met to prepare ground for Prime Minister Dahal's visit to India, which is scheduled from 15th to 18th of September. His visit comes as an effort to improve ties between Kathmandu and New Delhi, which had gone through hiccups during Nepal's previous regime led by KP Sharma Oli. Muslims across South Asia are making last-minute preparations for the festival of Eid-al-Azha, the days marked by family gathering and grandeur feast.
Markets are buzzing with busy buyers ahead of Eid-al-Azha, one of the most important dates in Islamic calendar. In India's northern province of Jammu and Kashmir, residents are engrossed in buying new clothes, accessories, cutleries and many other festival items to mark the day.
असल में ये आज ईद कुर्बान का मौका है और इस मौके पर यहाँ पर काफ़ी चहल पहल है। ये बाज़ार सजा हुआ है और इसमें तमाम तबके के लोग जो है आकर खरीद फरोख्त कर रहे हैं। यहाँ आकर जो है बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा है कि तमाम मज़ाहिब से ताल्लुक़ रखने वाले लोग जो हैं इस मार्केट में आकर जो है ये ख़रीद कर रहे हैं।
Similar festive fervor was evident in neighboring Bangladesh. Tens of thousands of Bangladeshis left capital Dhaka in order to join their families for celebrations. Many trains and ferries were filled to the brim with people travelling back to their hometowns.
অনেক দিন পর দেশে যাইতাছে আমার খুব আনন্দ লাগতাছে কিন্তু লঞ্চে দেখতাছি যে অনেক ভিড় মানে এখন মানে নিচে জায়গা পাইতাছি না আমার ছাদের উপরতে হইতাছে মানে এখন আমি এভাবে কষ্ট করে আমার বাবা মার সাথে আমার যে উদযাপন করতে হইব।
Eid-al-Azha marks the end of the annual Hajj pilgrimage. On this day, Muslims slaughter sheep, goats and cows to commemorate Prophet Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice his son Ishmael on God's command. The festival will be marked on Tuesday.
Meanwhile, as Muslims in Afghanistan get ready to celebrate Eid-al-Azha, President Ghani hailed a signing of peace accord with Islamist warlords. The president said that the peace deal will be finalized soon.
On the occasion of festivity around Eid-al-Azha, Afghan President Ghani appreciated the peace efforts by Hizb Islami delegation, saying that the peace deal will be finalized soon.
از تلاش‌های شورای عالیش صلح و هیئت محترم حزب اسلامی تشکر میکنم که پیشرفت قابل ملاحظه صورت گرفته و در این باره انشالله امید است که به زودی ممکنه موافقه نهایی شود و ما شاهد یک گام بزرگ در ایجاد فضای صلح و ختم جنگ باشیم.
Hizb Islami is a militant group led by Gulbuddin Hekmatyar, a veteran of almost 40 years of fighting in Afghanistan. Negotiations with the group have been going on since May when a draft accord was signed. But a final agreement had been held up with many on the government side suspicious of bringing the prominent warlord into the political fold. However, an accord at this stage would offer some encouragement to Kabul to persuade other militant groups, particularly the Taliban, to join the negotiating table for peace talks.
The Ladakh Marathon in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province brought together runners from across the world. Owing to the high altitude, the participants need at least a week to acclimatize for the race day.
India's northern Ladakh region is a popular tourist destination in the world. The Ladakh Marathon is one of the most arduous marathons which not only tests the physical strength but also challenges the mental strength and determination of the runners. The 5th edition of the marathon saw participation of 5,000 people. 4 races take place in the event and offer runners the unique opportunity to run through the most beautiful landscape, offering stunning views of mountains, rivers and valleys. The Khardungla Challenge at more than 5,000 meters is the world's highest ultra-marathon. Covering a distance of around 44 miles, the race tests the limits of human endurance.
Sri Lanka bore a festive look as beautifully decorated elephants walked the streets along with traditional dancers and musicians. The annual pageant, which holds a religious significance, is one of the most awaited festivities of the country.
Dance, drum beats, lights and fire. Sri Lanka came alive with one of its most colourful nights as elaborately decorated elephants were paraded on the streets of Kotte over the weekend. 24 dance troupes and 28 decked-up elephants made for a visual treat for the onlookers. The spectacular procession started from a 600-year-old Buddhist temple, which is said to have been the centre of the kingdom centuries ago, and made way through the area. The highlight of the parade was a casket carried on top of one of the elephants, which is believed to contain the relics of Buddha. The annual event is celebrated with great pomp and show in the Buddhist majority Sri Lanka. This year, the event was being held for 117th year.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Nepal Foreign Minister meets Indian counterpart ahead of Prime Minister Dahal's New Delhi visit. Baloch activists across the world protest against atrocities by Pakistani forces in Balochistan. And peace deal with Islamist warlords close to conclusion, says Afghan President Ghani. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.